So everyone always asks me, what is weeding? How do you do it? How come it takes so long? Stuff like that. So I thought I'm just finishing up my last player here, making some hockey water bottles for girls team. And I customized it all in Design Space in on the computer. And as you can see, like there was a couple spots here. Cricut actually took, well, not this one, but took these out as it was cutting, and that's what happens with like fine details. That's why it's really hard to do fine detail on vinyl unless someone has a trick for me that I don't know. Sometimes I actually have to cut these multiple times just to get a decent cut. But you'll see here that their last name is embedded, and it's supposed to look like the hairs over top of it, but there's going to be these small little tiny details here that may or may not survive. I actually had to put this little A part back in, and not, but I thought I'd show you kind of the process of it. It's taking me about 15 to 20 minutes per player, depending on how complicated the last name is and how good the cut was. Also too, the inconsistency with the Cricut machine is that this is the exact same file for every single player, and sometimes this little detail here will fully cut out, and then sometimes it's just a cut line. And same with some of the other details are not always the same or accurate, and sometimes you'll get a thick line, a thin line. Yeah, I don't understand, because it's the exact same file. It's being cut all at the exact same time on the same map, same blade, same everything. So, but anyways, so I'm just gonna, I'm using a pin pen. It's really good for like detail stuff or like really thin pieces. And then I'll use the main Cricut weeding tool to hold down things, or I like it for pulling up the background, because I find like the pin pen, I don't know, I just don't, I get a better pull with it. So I'll go back and forth between the two. You'll see it here. It's like, almost looks like a dental tool. I don't know if you can see it, there you go. And sorry, it's a little difficult to weed while I have the camera in my face. So, and then I have a little container here that I put the little tiny pieces in, or I'll stick it to my hand temporarily. But, and this being a glossy vinyl with the light glaring on it, can make it a challenge to actually see my cut line. I prefer matte vinyls. This one just happens to be glossy. So you can see these little details. So this is the little detail I was talking about. This one actually cut well. I'll show you an example of one that didn't. So that's what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to be, you know, thick like that. Even the center line is thick. But I'll show you one. This one, I don't know if you can see it. This one wasn't too bad. Sorry, where's one that, this one here. See how the line there? It's just a cut line. There's nothing to weed. And this is a little bit thinner as well. See if there's another one. Like some of them, you'll see, even this is thinner. But that's what you get for Cricut. There's no consistency. It gets really frustrating, especially when you're a very detailed person. I don't like them being different. but it is what it is. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. I had this light mat turned on, but you couldn't, the camera didn't like it, so I turned it off. It will help you, it will shine through the back and show your cut lines, so that can be helpful sometimes. Doesn't work well at all though on glitter. So you'll see me turning it around all the time because I'm trying to see where the cut lines are, and like some of these are very thin that it's hard to see like the portion I'm supposed to be pulling. And this is why people don't do detail stuff like this. There we go. Came up. And sometimes it's easier just to kind of bend it back till it pops up. But I want to make sure I'm grabbing the correct piece. I don't want to weed anything that I'm not supposed to weed. Also, what I found too is these bottom hairs, they're supposed to be kind of connected, and I find that the cut hasn't been perfect on a lot of them, but that's out of my control. Only so much control I have. I only do this as a hobby. I don't have a business or anything, so just do this to help friends out or for my daughter. So there. So now this next piece, this next hair, the name is embedded, and there's those little details that I might struggle a little bit with. This is a shorter name, so it's going to be a little easier than some of the other ones. Sorry, and I moved the light around, so now it's a little harder for me to see, especially with the camera in the way. So there's just going to be this little piece here between the A and the hairline. Or no, it's a K. And little details may or may not survive. I try my very best to keep them. I'll even spend time searching for them, but really in the end, like once you start using it, or even when you go to package it, they have a good chance of popping off. So it's just the way it is. Can't do anything about it. That's why stuff like this is better if you do like a screen print or sublimation or something like that. Can't really see what I'm doing here. Oops, this came back up again. You have to be careful, like you move it too much and then it catches on the vinyl again. It's just gonna pop back up again. This is why it takes like 15-20 minutes to weed this one little thing that, you know, at first doesn't look too complicated, but it's not easy. Okay, so I think we got all the tiny little pieces. Oh no, did we? Yeah, I like to hold on to it just in case. Oh, there's a little piece in the C you can get because there's a hair went through the C, and I could attempt to put that on, but like I said, it's probably not going to stay, so it's probably about there. What I'll do too is I can see the cut line in the back, and I'll try to use the light to see where it's supposed to sit. This is where I'll take the other tool. So see the lines about there. This one is about there. So you see like a stroke of hair is going through it. That's why it's cut. It's supposed to be a C and a K. But I'll play with that more when I can adjust my lighting better. But and then I'm gonna hold this piece down with that. Grab my pen with this. It's very awkward because I'm not left-handed. There. And now I know the S's in all of them have been pretty stubborn, especially this bottom little detail piece. Top one hasn't given me too much problems, but probably will. Okay, so I'm going to have to find where that is and hold it down with this tool and lift it up. I'm holding that down. Okay, and then I'm gonna have to do the same with the bottom one. I'm gonna have to find where that piece is. Oops. Or else it's not gonna look like an S. Okay, and I'll hold this. Oh, I'm not even in the screen, sorry. There. It's not like, so if those weren't there, it wouldn't look too much like an S. So that's probably the hardest part. A little piece here in the shoulder. It's like a wrinkle in the shirt. This is a little wrinkle right here. I'm gonna the number off. Put down the corner. Okay. Now these have little fingers. This one looks like it was pretty good when it cut. It didn't move too much. But they may. I'm gonna have to use the tool to kind of hold them down as I pull. And then I like to see it lifted, so I like to hold them down when I don't know if you guys can even see what I'm doing. Oops. So that little piece moved. Hold that like that. Okay. You just have to go slow with these details so that you don't lift anything up. See, the stick is coming up here. This piece likes to pull up. Kind of learn what to look for. What likes to pull up easier than the rest. Go. And this little part is probably the easiest until I get back to the detailed areas. Oops. Okay. I have to hold these stripes on. These are, again, folds of the jersey. Keep those down. Poke those down so I can hold them as I pull. Okay. Cricut's very sticky, so it's like makes it difficult to move it. You could cut it as you go, but sometimes it's, once you get used to it, you can kind of navigate it. And if I lose anything, I just go back through the tape before I discard it. And we'll pull out, usually I lose this piece, but it stayed this time. Okay. Again, I'm no expert. I haven't even been doing this that long. I think it's been about a year and a half, maybe. Oops, that piece is going to give us trouble. Oh, no, maybe we're good. There, we're good. And then we've got this one last little piece right here. Sorry, I can't really see what I'm doing. Go. And pull this piece out. So our little player is done. That part anyways. And then I have to layer. I will show you layering. I'm going to have some transfer tape. I'm going to have some parchment paper. And then we got, this is the middle liner. It's going to be 3 layers. Actually, this ended up being 2 layers because I wanted a white silver, or a white glitter, not a silver. And when I went to Michael's to buy it, it said it was white and it was transparent. So I had to put it on top of white vinyl. And then this is our back layer. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put the silver layer on first. I'm going to get my transfer tape. And hopefully you can see, I'm going to, oops, I didn't cover the head, but that's okay. Here's my scraper. Where did it go? Okay. Don't know where it went, so I'm going to use this one. So I'm just going to scrape it down. And then we're going to flip it over, push it down onto the tape more, and then we're going to lift it up. There's the back. I'm going to use our parchment paper to cover it up so it doesn't stick right away. You can give some time to line it up. So I'm going to just line this up best as I can. That looks fairly even all the way around. Put that part down that was exposed, and then I'm going to lift it up, pull that parchment paper out, and then I'm going to slowly bring it down. You want to make sure there's no air bubbles or you're going to see lumps. So you just take it slow. Okay, down. You're going to lift the transfer paper up, but keep it on the backing. Hold it down so it doesn't lift up. Okay, so now we take our player. We need to make sure she fits all the way on because she's got tiny little pieces. Okay. Put this down really good. Now, sometimes this is a challenge because they don't like to, all the little pieces don't like to stick. So there's going to be some more filling probably. I'm going to lift up the backing. All right, we're gonna go slow and see how this piece is not sticking or not sticking down. So we're just going to push it down with our tool. So far, so good. Oh, this hair didn't want to stick down. Okay. All the little pieces stuck fairly good. Didn't lose anything. Miracles can happen, I guess. Okay, again, we're just going to let a little bit be exposed so that we can stick it down. Take our player again. I'm going to center it as, oh, I guess you can't see, sorry. Okay, we're going to center it as best as we can before we commit. So that looks decent. Put that down. Lift this up very slowly. And then we're very carefully, oops, you can't see. Very carefully, we're going to pull it back. Actually, we don't have to because I'm going to be putting it on the water bottle. I'll peel it off when I'm ready to stick it down, but essentially that's what it is. And this is what it's going to look like. So, I guess you can't see it, but it goes on the water bottle. Okay, and then their name's going to be at the bottom as well. There you go.